Alright, happy Saturday, almost afternoon. Oh wow, I am not what you call a morning person. Hello? So, this is a little different. I haven't done a live drawing in a while. I haven't done much of anything live in a while. So this is there. That might work better for anyone that's not on Instagram. Because I still have not figured out how to make my restream do Instagram, like all my vital social media. So I do Instagram separately on my phone. But for the other 5 social media, for about a good minute, you were staring at my desk. Whoopsie. Alright, so like the video says, and it's a long-winded name, I'm going to continue finishing inks and embellishing on my Robtober piece today. Grim from Dooms 4. It took me a minute to find reference. I swore I had these comics back in the day, but I can't find them. Maybe they did have a studio flood a few years back. My wife and I did lose a lot of our books, and after a while, a lot of them on the listing just turned into miscellaneous books, miscellaneous comics. So I don't recall this being on the list, but maybe this might have been part of the miscellaneous. So the moral of the story when it came to my comic book collection is now instead of cardboard boxes, I am using hard plastic storage bins. Completely waterproof. So yesterday I managed to sketch this. I didn't get super far. Family and I were carving pumpkins, and my girls, my wife and my daughter, ended up picking these colossal pumpkins out. It took a lot of cutting to get into the guts of the pumpkin, and it turns out when you're pushing 46, your arm tends to cramp up a little more than it used to. So different point number 2 is, and I apologize for not videoing this, I used my Jean Michel pencil, which is a soft lead. I usually don't draw soft leads unless I'm using a toned paper, because I find that it sticks out better, shows up a little better on the paper. But I am developing an appreciation for the softer pencils, because they are, now that I'm finally learning my own strength on how much pressure I want to put on a pencil, I can really sketch light with these. So that's, if anyone is online, feel free to chat in. Otherwise, you get the word salad that I've just spewed out. Unless you like word salad, then that's cool too. So I'm trying to keep an eye on comments, because my studio setup is weird. And And to this one side of me, I have my, because I can't find my comics, I'm filming with my phone on Instagram. I'm filming to my 2 Facebook page, my YouTube, my Twitch and Twitter for some through Restream. Wish I could use Restream to maybe do a few of the social media, including Instagram and maybe TikTok, but can't get it to work right now. And the nice thing about these characters is they were heavily rendered back in the day. Digital coloring was starting to be a little more mainstream at this point, but in this era of drawing comics, inking, the penciling was really dependent on the inking, and I can't really say anything negative about that. My own style for a while, a lot of the rendering I decided to put in my colors. So a lot, but the upside was I liked the end results, but the downside is it just ruined me for inking. Still not super great at inking, but I'm giving it the old college dropout try. That was a joke. I actually somehow managed to not drop out of college. Alright. I'm using my pocket brush right now to block in my darks, and I'm sure this is not the right way, so do not treat this as a how-to video. Just a guy who likes to draw and occasionally likes to film it. And I'm sure if I were to hold up a tin can or whatever to the light, none of this lighting would make sense at all. I've already made a bit of an error on the design of this helmet. That's okay though. Okay. Sorry, random thing about doing these on your phone is you randomly get the odd message or the odd phone call trying to get through. This design is a little interesting to me in the way that I'm trying to figure out how this part makes sense. So there's some kind of face cover here, but he somehow has a headband on, so I want, like, so I'm assuming that's something you can remove, but made a conscious effort that day to kind of go out and put on a headband before putting on his face cover for whatever's wrong with that, since I can't seem to find my comics to brush up and read. I swore I had this series too. all about this mess when I was a teenager. Okay, one message and okay. Sorry, I don't do sales pitches online. Yeah. Sorry, I've had one comment all day and it's a sales pitch. Maybe read it later and form my opinions, but for now. Okay, and I just lost my Instagram. And we're back. Alright. And this is probably an unnecessary amount of rendering, but hey, 90s, it's what we did back then. Right, I think may go back to inking soon, but I'm going to maybe alleviate some of this pencil and give it its very soft pencil. Oh, okay, I just found point number 2 on plus sides about using soft pencils. I can sketch lighter, and it is much easier to erase away. I'd have to inform my little one that Daddy will be keeping all or more of his soft lead pencils going forward. I'm just using my kneaded eraser here. The nice thing about the kneaded eraser is it doesn't actually pick up the outer layers of the paper. It actually just peels off graphite. So not all of it. I still have a little bit, so I'll have to go in with a bit of a vinyl, maybe peel off a layer or two. A lot of times I don't even take that much lead off, just to keep some of the grit in there. I've been told that once I actually got rid of a lot of my sketchy stuff there, I lose almost all of the interesting stuff, and then when I just leave it to by the time I get to this stage, I've taken out all the spices to it and added on something unnecessary, like raisins. What kind of eraser is, oh, hi, Cora. This one is, my kneaded eraser. It's basically, like a putty that you can rip apart and put back together. rip apart and put back together to clean it. But this eraser, like I said before, it is very nice because it doesn't take the fibers off your paper. It'll clear off the graphite. It doesn't quite do everything. If you've pressed too hard on it, it gets a little tricky. This other eraser I'm using, it's actually a chunk that fell off my Blackwing eraser here. This is softer, so the one thing about the Blackwing eraser, it is soft, and unfortunately I don't always know my own strength, so I kind of broke that piece off. So I'm using the broken off piece before I break off any more pieces before I use the big part. So those are the two erasers I'm using on a somewhat regular basis. Give me a moment. I'm just going to come back in my reference here, since I don't. And yeah, these erasers, the kneaded erasers, are actually readily available at most local art stores. Out in Oshawa, the only real art store we have left is Michael's. But I found that you can actually get these at Staples. Staples actually has a pretty not bad art supply section. So if you want, if nothing overly complex, but if you need or if like you're an art person, you're looking for like a sketchbook and some pencils, what have you. Staples does actually have a pretty good is a pretty good option, and I find a little more affordable than say Michael's. All right. Okay, so I'm guessing, I'm not sure if this is because I don't have these comics anymore. Like I said, I don't know if I purged them ages ago or if they were lost in my studio flood. I'm going on reference here, but the reference I have that I can see, it looks like this dude Grimm here has kind of a purpley hair. Bold choice. I don't know if these people with the unusual colored hair, that's the way they're born. If oh no, oh you have a little art store here. What's that called, Cora? Um, yeah, no, I miss Curry's too. I don't like that the only stores they have left are like in Kitchener and Waterloo. It's, I guess it's not bad if I need to pick up art supplies while visiting my in-laws, but it's not exactly a route I want to go to on a regular basis. And I find you can order online at Curry's, but I haven't been super impressed with the online offerings. The last major order I had through Curry's online, about 5 or 6 weeks overall, and the shipment, it was a mix of stuff for me. Okay, also lack a good comic store. Yeah, it's one thing I still give Asha. We still have like a decent comic store. I've been actually going back to Worlds Collide, back to collecting floppies again. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a downside. Like that is a downside because it's so easy these days to be able to order art supplies and have them brought to your house. Worlds. Woohoo. Yeah, no, I started going back not that long ago. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick out my next wave of colors here. I'm starting to ramble, and there. But yeah, it's like having a physical business these days is getting a little trickier to maneuver. It's a lot of overhead, right? Whereas, and we've had a few comic stores out here. Oh, thanks. We've had a few comic stores out here, like about 5, 6 years ago. We were at the Curtis Santa Claus parade, um, because they held theirs on Sunday afternoons, and that always seemed to be, and it wasn't as crowded as the Oshawa one Sundays, so we'd go. I found that one of the merchants was actually a comic shop in Curtis. I wasn't aware of that existed. Undercover Geek, and handed out free comics at the parade, and I thought, oh, this is cool. I'll go check it. And it was in the plaza right across the way from my now favorite coffee shop. And then I found out that Undercover Geek was ending up closing its physical store. I think the last I heard, they were just operating out of a house and doing stuff like delivering their files to people or what have you. This predates the pandemic a few years, so they were just talking about storing and delivering a comic. But the shop they had, for the brief time I saw it, was a nice setup. But yeah, no, I definitely miss Curry's though. Like, there is a lot to be said about being able to go into an art store. Okay, we'll see you back in a sec. But for anyone else that may be joining in, um, there has to be something said about being able to go into like a store, like an art store or a comic store or whatever, to kind of get that personal touch. All right. I did not think to bring scratch paper with me. Oh wait, here I go. Scratch paper. That is a little. Here we go. Getting in for the costume. Looks like. I see. And I don't even know what color this guy's eyes are. You know, if in doubt, I will do an evil right in there. Huh? On a bright note, I am happy that it looks like my restream comments are working. I'm trying to figure out this headband. Yeah, it looks like I can get away with kind of a grayish. Maybe get some, no, that's not the one I need. So it looks like some of my further reference that was actually supposed to be grayish here, but there's like some purple overtone, so I'll add a little bit of neutral gray, a little darker just to okay, seems to add a little bit there. So the art store downtown here is closing down. That is typical. And it's funny, with all these art stores like closing down, it's actually become one of my midlife dreams to actually like open up an old school art store like a Curry's or what I used to have. Well, I used to have starting out like out here back in the day, like Brushstrokes or Art Affairs. And then I remember they all closed, and then I think, oh, maybe there's a reason why art stores don't exist. I still get sketch pads at like my local Michaels or Staples. But my pencils, because I use these Blackwing pencils now, gave Peter a bunch the last time we were out your way. Gonna have to. Yeah, Staples is like you wouldn't think Staples had an art supply section, but it does. They actually have a pretty decent one. I mean, it sucks that we can't have like local owned and operated or strictly Canadian art supply stores out here anymore. But if you're in a lurch and like picking your stuff up, Staples is good. Michael's is all right when you have coupons. When I do order some things online, I've been going to a little stationery shop called Wonder Pens. They're in Toronto. They're not technically an art store, but they do carry the Blackwing pencils that I like, and they're like I find them very fast with delivering. The last time I ordered, though, I didn't order pencils. I did order this drawing journal, and this will probably be the next or the one after that I do for my Patreon. I have a Patreon where I put the contents of my personal sketchbooks on there and have access to that for $1 a month. So back onto here. I was trying to think. There is some weird. You know what? I think for a background, I'm going to do this dark red. And yeah, I do not have that in a classic. I just. But yeah, like I hate that they're no longer like good owned art stores with staff that kind of take a great interest in that. Um, Not that not to say we haven't had bad staff at our local Michaels or local Staples. But I do miss being able to go into the art store and get a knowledgeable artist's opinion on what kind of paper. Yes, these are my Copics. I've amassed a lot of them over the years. Actually, for quite a few Christmases, these were the only things on my checklist. These days, you actually have there are cheaper alternatives to Copics that are of similar types. Oh, thank you. And this is the one thing I never know, being somewhat colorblind. I only have like a basic textbook knowledge of color theory. I'm going to. Here we are. And this is something little one turned me on to not too long ago. Posca pens, acrylic pen markers that I can kind of come in and give a little bit of a little extra. Too. All right. And because I have these, I'm going to. Can I actually get. Yes. Because my studio is ever going or ongoing effort in interior design. I'm going to go in with my Posca and actually add like some. Now, this gold marker would be something I wouldn't, like you wouldn't do in print, because getting the gold effect wouldn't translate well once you scan it. But since I don't really do prints, there we go. All right, get my reference back going here. And what color is this little gem here in the middle? Arg. Color inconsistencies of 90s comics. And looks like a type of, oh, thanks. Looks like, if I had to hazard a guess, a bit of a red. So there is a bit of red going on there. And I'm going to get in there with the, yeah. No, like I said at the earliest part of this, I don't know if you were here for that, Cora. I swore I had these comics, but I'm not sure what I did with them. I don't know if they're still buried somewhere I haven't unearthed yet. Yeah, I would lose. Yeah, that gold texture I would definitely lose in a scan. It wouldn't come out quite like gold. It would turn into something else by the time you get it scanned. Now, print. If I were to say take that to a printer, like I could probably get a gold, if I remember my desktop publishing correctly, I could get an old or a gold type ink for it, but in a four color process that would add a fifth spot color, and that would get a little more expensive. But that's the thing with me, I don't particularly care for doing prints. I'd rather stick to keeping these original. Now, I've tried prints before. I still have a few, not a lot. I might reevaluate my opinions. I just updated my iPad earlier this year, and it's one with the pencil. I'm touching up my comic art for my next TikTok Tom story, so I might reevaluate what I do with prints again, because I find I don't have too much luck selling originals. I'll put that theory to the test. I have a show tomorrow in Bowmanville. Wow, I spent over 35 minutes inking and coloring. All right, so that might be time for me to call this done. And yeah, this is Grim from Dooms 4 for my attempt at doing Robtober this year. That is all characters created by Rob Liefeld. These are fun. Bring my middle-aged derriere back to a simpler time. But before I go, I'm going to I've been using these Eon boards, which I love. Another order online because they're not available in any local art stores. So downside for me being Canadian is like I have to order a bit to justify the shipping. But I will block that out in case I want to move that, in case I would want to try to sell that. But yeah, I think that is it for me today, or for today anyway. I've got house stuff to do and prep stuff because tomorrow I will be at the Pop Culture Con in Bowmanville trying to sell some comics, sell some of my artwork, do some live sketches and commissions, all that fun stuff. And then, yeah, see what happens. So I'm logging off, Cora. Thank you for keeping me company during this stream, and hope to do it again soon. Let's see if I've got this. Sure you want to end stream. Okay.